Okay. So this is 4 reasons why people fail. And I have a new book that I'm reading, and I really was enjoying it today. And so I thought, you know what, that's what we're going to do our Zoom tonight on. And then truthfully, I'm going to do each week, we're going to go to the next chapter, and we're going to talk about that, because it's just really what we need to talk about anyway. So the first one, if you're going to take notes, the first one is the reason that why people fail with Plexus is they are not coachable. Okay? We've all established that this is a simple system with Plexus. It truthfully really is. Even in Plexus, we say an 8-year-old should be able to do this. So it's not rocket science or anything. You don't have to have a really good background. You don't have to be professional. You don't have to be educated. You don't have to have a college degree. That's the nice thing with network marketing. It requires you to have a simple system. So if someone isn't seeing some success, it's almost always because they're not following this system. Either because they don't trust it, or this is where it comes in a lot that I've seen, because they're arrogant enough to think they can do it faster, stronger, or better. So you're going to come across people like that on your team that, and don't get discouraged, because just sit back and let them go themselves, and you'll see what happens to their teams or whatever. If they're coachable and want to do, this is all duplication, right? We've all learned that. So if we just do what the diamonds did, how they got to diamond in 2-3 years, if we do what they do, that's exactly how we need to do this with Plexus. Because we don't have to go out and make a whole new system or anything. So I was going to read this to you right here, because I thought this was good. I came to this profession with a law degree, a brief but successful stint as a lawyer, and an award-winning PR career. One could argue that I had professional chops and knew how to make this happen. But like so many who came to network marketing, I had 0 experience in this gig, and I knew I had to do everything possible to learn, and I did what the successful members of my upline told me to do. I plugged into the resources of my company, and I became a student of the profession. I did exactly what I was coached to do. Once I learned the basics, I was able to add my own personality, flair, and experience to the mix, but not until I knew what I was doing. Would I have walked into a deposition to interview a potential witness without first learning the procedure? Would I have written my first press release without first learning what needs to go into the release and how to construct it? My 10th deposition was a lot better than my first, and after 3 months of writing releases, I could practically do it in my sleep. But at the beginning, I learned the system, and this business is no different. Whether you're brand new to our profession or you've been plugging away for a while and your business isn't where you hoped it would be, make a commitment and be 100% coachable. You need to declare it right now that you're going to be 100% coachable. So in your mind, say that. I am going to be 100% coachable. And write it down even, because that's really important to do it. Did you declare it? Are you coachable? Then you've already sailed over your first success hurdle. You passed the first test. If you didn't declare it, and I don't want you to say it unless you really completely believe it, then don't read any further. Stop. Someone who's willing to be 100% coachable will want my help. So that's what this guy was saying in the book. Like, if you don't want to say that and you want to do your own way, then don't even finish reading this book. He was that. Why do you think it's so important? If you're not coachable, you won't talk to enough people. I've seen this over and over, too many times to count. Same with me. It's true as saying that your next bikini wax is going to hurt, right? When I say you have to talk to people all the time, it's true. You have to talk to them all the time. The uncoachable, as we like to call them, also refuse to implement proven business building tools to help them expose and close. Expose their network to what they're offering and move them through their funnel to close. We've talked about closing. There's so many people that talk and post on Facebook, and they just cannot get anybody to try Plexus, and it's been for a few years. Well, that might be a problem with their closing technique, how they're closing. And there are ways to learn and do it. And all we have to do is just learn the ways to do this. If you're coachable, it's the first step, but that's only part of the story. It doesn't end when you learn the basics. You have to become a student of this profession. So right now in Tickled Pink, I just posted it this afternoon. The book GoPro is a really awesome book. I've loved it from day one. I have bought it a lot, and I've even given it to new ambassadors and things. But there's a book study going on right now. So I just posted the first video. It was yesterday. They interviewed Jarrett Abart, and they talked about this industry, and you all should really watch it. It's 15 minutes long. It was an intro to the book. But each week there'll be a weekly study on this book, and I highly recommend you guys ordering that book on Amazon. I ordered it and I got it in like 3 days or 2 days. So it's called GoPro by Eric Worre, and some of you probably have books that I've given you, because I've given away that a lot, and I had to order another one because I couldn't find one, and I used to have like 30 or 40 of them. So the first one is be coachable. Number one, right? The reason number two why people fail with Plexus is they don't treat it like a business. You've likely heard this tried and true fact. If you treat your business like a hobby, it will pay you like a hobby. If you treat it like a real business, it can pay you like a business. And are hobbies expensive? Yes, hobbies are expensive. I don't think people actually believe this is a get-rich-quick scheme, or that it's going to fall from the sky into their laps. The guy in this book just thinks that too many people start their business thinking that this is an out-of-the-box business model, and it doesn't require consistency and commitment that other businesses do. So, give an example of a CEO who has built a successful six-figure company who didn't consistently show up to build it. Think about it. Think about regular businesses. You have to pour so much time into starting that business and money. It's crazy. So showed up and they didn't show up if they didn't feel like it, or they didn't. So let's get real. Network marketing is not, I like this, listen. Network marketing is not net slacker marketing. You hear that? Network. You got to work, not net slack. So it's not net slack marketing, it's network marketing. Love that. The most beautiful thing about this, though, is you don't have to devote 40 or 50 hours a week every single week to see big gains. These are part-time hours of income-producing activities that we coach about every single week. I talk to you guys about. We really mean you need to do these every single week. Even when you're tired, when you're deflated, when you're disappointed, when you're frustrated, and you're ready to pull your hair out, you have to stay consistent. To turn your venture into successful business, you must make it a priority. And you must carry your business with you wherever you go. Always listening around, always listening. If you owned a retail store instead of a virtual business, you'd go to the brick and mortar space and turn around the open sign and go to work every single day. How can you expect to be open for business if you're not turning around the open sign in your brain and in your schedule? In this profession, every time your mouth is closed, your business is closed. Think about that for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
Every time you are at the soccer game and you're with all those moms and they're all talking and they're talking about their weight and how tired they are and all that, and you're just sitting there, you have a big close sign on your thing instead of open. So that really hit. This part is really true. Okay, think about this. I want you to write this down. You should devote at least 80% of your time to your personal business. Personal business. So this is talking to people. This is finding those who want to be your customers and giving them the best service. And it's finding those who want to be on your team and training them to grow an amazing business. That's in their first 30 days of their business. So that is 80%. We call this paying yourself first in order to keep growing. 10% of your time should be devoted to three-way calls for your team or helping your team. 10%. So a lot of people go into this management mode and it's switched. They love to sit there and just manage their team. I kind of fell into it too when I turned Emerald. But you need to give 80% to yourself growing, your personal growth, doing your DIPAs, 10% to helping your team, and 10% should be spent on your personal training, plugging into training calls, the Zoom calls, attending trainings, going to Room of Hopes, reading your books, 10%. Okay, so this is kind of how it looks. For example, if you're devoting 15 hours a week to your business, at least 12 hours will go to your personal business, 12. So if you divided that up into 5 days a week, okay, what is that, a couple hours a day, you're out there working, okay? 1.5 hours will go to 3 ways of working with your team, and 1.5 hours will go to your personal training and coaching your non-newbies or working on reading your books. So since our business can be blissfully flexible around life happening, we're able to maneuver around those hours as needed, but they must happen. If you miss your hour in the morning to smile and dial before your babysitter, wait, I got that wrong. If you miss your hours in the morning, the dog pooped on the carpet and you got to deal with the broken washer and you got to take your kids to the doctor because the baby got sick, that's okay. But remember in your mind, you have to make up that time later on in the day. You've got to stay committed to that time. Speaking of babysitters, this man, this I thought was really interesting because a lot of the Jewels did this when they decided they wanted to really rock this business. This is the time when they got their kids and put them in daycare for a couple hours a week, or they hired a babysitter for a couple hours a week to come in so that they could and gave them jobs like cleaning up the house a little bit, doing some laundry, prepping for some food or whatever while the mom works. And they have seen their business just take off. So that's something to be a goal for you, is to get to that level where you can do that, where you can have somebody that can come in and help you with your child, and your child can still have a wonderful time with this person, and you are working your business full time. Remember that you're the CEO of your own business. So reason number 3. Okay, so number 1 was, remember, what's number 1? They're not coachable. That's why they fail. Number 2, they don't treat it like a business. Number 3 is they're not willing to get uncomfortable. All right? This business requires you to get comfortable being uncomfortable, at least in the beginning. Write that down. You need to be uncomfortable. You need to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Most of us have never done this type of business, so we can feel awkward and vulnerable. Lots of people I know hide behind getting ready to get ready because it's safer. Now listen to this. Is this you? Think about this. I've seen a lot of people do this who never gave themselves the opportunity to fly because they wouldn't take off. They busied themselves with assembling binders of information, setting up a home office, color coding a file system, writing and rewriting their list of people. They kept practicing talking to people instead of actually talking to people, assuming they're supposed to sound like established leaders. This isn't the type of endeavor where you study and study and study and then you apply what you've learned. I love that. I highlighted that. Let me do this again. This isn't the type of endeavor where you study and study and then apply what you've learned. It doesn't work like that. It only works if you allow yourself to earn as you learn. Earn as you learn. That's the only way this is going to work. Relying on a system and the people who've come before you. We all have to muck our way through those first few months before we start to get the hang of it. Every single one of us that are Jewels and that have moved up started right where you are. Went through the same emotions that you're going through, the same no's, the same questioning in our brains. Is this what we really want to do? Is this is this real? Is whatever. Then a bit after success followed by a hiccup or two, it's common to see business builders go into management mode, which we talked about. But your business won't continue to grow if you don't keep putting yourself out there over and over again. And this means that you're going to fail, you're going to fall, you're going to make mistakes. But I know from experience, you'll only grow really, really big if you're willing to make mistakes and then learn from them, truthfully. And a lot of you guys have been doing this for 2 or 3 years, and that is really true, isn't it? You'll only grow really big if you're willing to make mistakes and learn from them. As I tell the kids, if you're not making mistakes, you're not stretching yourself, and you're not trying hard enough. So I think that is really, really good to remember, that we want to be willing to get uncomfortable. Okay? Okay, number 4.
What was number 3?
So number 3 is they're not willing to get uncomfortable. Number 4 is they're not hungry enough. This is the biggie, and it's the epidemic in our business. There's a lot of people who have access to amazing training from the diamonds we all do, right? They're coachable, and they're willing to learn how to do this. They're even consistent for a while, but then something happens. That thing called life. It gets in the way. The kids get sick. There's a big project at their day job. They're tired. The really good episode of Scandal is on. So their business gets moved down on their list of priorities. Life happens to all of us every single day. We're all working with the same 24 hours. Write that down. We are all working with the same 24 hours. Sometimes a lot of us think, oh, my time, we all have the same time. So why do some people stop working their business because life happens, while others of us keep working our business in spite of everything life throws at us? I wonder what that is. Why? The answer is because we're hungry. I mean, really hungry. This guy in this book, he was starving. Write that down. You're starving. You're starving. Not literally, but I was living the life I wanted for me or my husband or my kids. Suddenly that reality was sitting like a ton of bricks on my shoulder. I couldn't find a way out of the billable hour jail and the daily grind that was boring me into a numbed version of myself. I looked down the road 5 and 10 years into the future, and I was scared to death. I saw a future of getting by but not getting ahead, not giving our kids all the things I wanted for them, let alone all the things that John and I had dreamed of and talked about when we were dating before we had our kids. So when this profession landed in my lap, I just knew this was our way out of a ho-hum life. Isn't that exciting? It's so exciting. But you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to build it. You have to be willing to do whatever it takes to build it. This is hard to work. Even when this lady, she says, even when I was juggling our baby, our toddler, my clients, volunteering, doing work for John's Biz, helping my aging mom, trying to lose baby weight, I was juggling and intellectually at that. I was tired and scared and often disappointed and deflated, but there was little and big victories that gave me small glimpses of what this could really be. So I kept going, even before we were making big money. Now listen to this part. I like this part. Because this is where vision comes in. And this is where what I've been trying to do with all of you is pour this vision in. But truthfully, you have to visualize this. So listen to this really carefully, because truthfully, we're going to use our eyes and we're going to use our lips in this next little section. Okay? So visualize the taste of freedom. Okay? So visualize the taste of freedom that would come with bigger commissions and residual income and the ability to stop working for others. Okay, that's the first one. Taste the amazing freedom my husband would experience when he could walk away from this job that he no longer loved to pursue and that was feeding his soul. Okay, so that's tasting the amazing freedom for the husband. This is our eyes again. I could see our family frolicking on family vacations and luxurious resorts. Visualize that. That's why these vision boards are so important. We need to have them in front of our face, and so we see them when we're down and we aren't in the mood to do this and keep moving forward. We need to visualize that. Taste the sweetness of getting to live life on our terms. Tasting the sweetness of getting to live life on our terms. She said, I wanted this so badly that nothing, I mean nothing, was going to stop me. Okay, now I want to read this really quick. It was the same for my friend and business partner. Her family was hungry, literally. The Great Recession caused her husband's exciting new startup to go south, leaving her family to get by on a low-paying job teaching at the local university. With bills mounting and more months and money, Tracy had to go to the food bank to feed her girls. They were forced to sell their home in a short sale to avoid foreclosure, and they moved in with their in-laws. Completely broke, she had to get a loan from her parents to start her business. When she joined our team, she was so desperate to get up from rock bottom that she was 100% coachable. She was consistent and kept putting one foot in front of the other no matter the obstacle. She was volunteering every spare minute so that her girls could participate in activities for free because they couldn't afford to pay for them. And she was teaching and trying to keep her family together. And I mean that literally, not just to keep her family afloat, but struggling to keep her family physically together. Despite this, Tracy was profitable in her first full month. In less than 2 years, she went from food stamps to earning a free Lexus courtesy of our company. Her hunger fueled her commitment and consistency, and today Tracy and her beautiful family are living their dreams in a house by the beach in Southern California. Please understand that we're not suggesting that you can't be successful in this business unless you're at your wit's end with your life or unable to feed your family. But you've got to figure out what it is that you really want that you don't already have. Okay, I'm going to say that again. Figure out what it is that you really want that you don't already have. Whatever it is, it's got to be important enough to get you to do something with commitment and consistency. It's got to be important enough to get you up to make one more phone call, to reach out to one more person, and to loop back with one more prospect. Even if you're so weary and tired and you can't think you can handle anymore. Because if we want something bad enough in our life, we make it happen. It's just that simple. So, what if you dig deep and start to dream bigger so that your hunger propels you into action? I would love for that to happen. You need to dig deep and start to dream big so that your hunger propels you into action. You need to be hungry for this change. You need to be starving, like you said, famished and weak from it. So I can't make you coachable, and I can't even motivate you. I've talked about that over and over. And when I first started, I thought I could, and I did everything I could to motivate my team. We had contests all the time. I was trying to do everything I could to motivate people. And then I learned I can't motivate people. Motivation comes from within. It has to come from the person. I can coach you through all this stuff and everything, but it's all up to you in changing your life. So this today, I hope, really touched you guys, and you understand that those are 4 reasons. 4? Did we go over 4? 4 reasons why people fail at this. And I believe that every single one of you don't have to. You don't have this. Number 1, they're not coachable. Number 2, they don't treat it like a business. Number 3, they're not hungry enough. And number 4 is, they're not willing to get uncomfortable. Those are the 3 things that we talked about tonight. And I hope this touched you and it just poured in some passion to you, because truthfully, Plexus, I want to just cover this for a second. Plexus is one of the fastest growing companies in America right now. We were in Inc. 500 magazine for 2 years. The very first year we were in Inc. 500 magazine, we came in. They take 5,000 of the fastest growing companies in America. They take the top 500 and they put it on what's called the list. They put it in this Inc. 500 magazine and showcase those 500 companies. Plexus came in, not 500, not 400, not 300, not 200. They came in at number 8 on the list. And number 2 in the health industry. The health industry are hospitals, insurers, doctors. This is crazy. We came in at number 2. And the percentage that we grew, are you kidding me? 16,000% we grew. But Morgan Stanley came to us begging us, please, will you be our customers? Will you be our clients? That's unheard of. They have Facebook and they have Google, and that's about it. And they have Plexus. You have to know that you are in an amazing company and we have products that work. That is why. None of our products are over $40. Are you kidding me? We only have 15 products and we're going to be $1 billion company probably this year. We've surpassed the 10-year mark. When you, as a company, a multi-level marketing company, when you pass the 10-year mark, there's a 99% chance that you're going to fail. We're past the 10-year mark. We are a legacy company. We're going to be around a long time. Your grandkids and your great-grandkids are on Plexus and know what Plexus is. And to tell them and explain to them that you are a pioneer of this, you worked so hard when nobody knew what Plexus is going to be. My little thing is in 3 to 5 years, Plexus will be a household name. People will be really talking about it. Now it's already starting to get like that, but it's going to be 3 to 5 years. Everybody's going to be wanting this Plexus. So we have to be so excited about this opportunity that we have and not be ashamed of this industry. People might talk bad about you and go, la, la, la. But you know what? Those people are just, they aren't educated in this. And the more you read about network marketing and you read about this industry, the more you should get excited, the more you should understand all your dreams can come true. And this is something you really want to focus on and you want to commit to, and you want to squeeze it into every nook and cranny that you can. Continue to do what you're doing as a mom and whatever you're doing, but squeeze this in every nook and cranny. I remember when I was pushing for Emerald, I pushed for Emerald just to show those naysayers, just to show those people, those very close family members and friends that have made fun of me. I wanted to drive that Lexus. And I wanted to make over $10,000 a month. So I worked hard, even my own kids and family. Mom, all you do is Plexus. All you talk about is Plexus. Everywhere you go, you talk about Plexus. Oh, she's talking about Plexus again. Yeah. Now look what we have. You have to live Plexus. That's just that little saying, live, love, live healthy, live Plexus. We're just listening and we're helping people. So it's really exciting, and I hope this tonight excited you and gave you more inspiration to really put your feet down and just go, I'm doing this. Like, I am doing this. I'm going to prove everyone wrong. I'm going to change the future of my family, of my husband, of my kids. We are going to own things with 100% cash. We're going to have houses. We're going to go on trips. Whatever your heart desires, you can do with Plexus. And you shouldn't be ashamed of it. God wants us to have the desires of our hearts. He wants us to not have the stress that we live with financial problems. He wants you to be successful. And you have to believe that yourself. You have to believe it. You have to say those positive affirmations. Even if you feel really bad and your points are the lowest they've ever been and you can't get anybody to sign up, stay coachable and learn and go to your upline and ask them, what am I doing wrong? Am I saying it wrong? Am I posting on Facebook wrong? Ask questions. If you're not moving forward, ask questions, because there's people here that want to help you. And I have people calling me all the time, and they always apologize to me. I'm so sorry to bother you. I'm sorry, Cindy, I'm bothering you again. No, that is the best thing I could get from anyone, is people reaching out to me. That's showing me that you are wanting this with a passion and a drive, and you are hungry, just like we talked about today. You're starving. You're hungry. You need this. Okay? So next week, our topic's going to be your why. Because that's our next thing that's very important in this whole thing that we're going for, is figuring out your why, and why are you here, and why did God choose you to do Plexus. We're going to talk about that next week. So make sure you get your team on here and everything, and let them know this is our new Wednesday night time to be together. So I'm trying to do it in a half an hour, so we're going to be done right now. But I'm really proud of all of you that got on this call. I hope you took some notes, and when we hang up, I'd love for you to read over them and let them sink in and pray over them and make them your own, and believe in this industry and this Plexus, that this is your way out. This is you getting off that hamster wheel of life, and you're going to do this. And I believe every single one of you can do it. So if you want to unmute, we can say goodnight. I'm going to stop.